Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Dipti Kulkarni, lecturer, Department of Physics, KLS Kokte PU College, Belgavi. In continuation with my earlier video on dual nature of radiations and matter. In this video, I am going to discuss few more concepts on dual nature and radiation. Okay, dual nature of radiation and matter. Okay, so what is photoelectric work function? Okay, so photoelectric work function is denoted by W. What is photoelectric effect? Already we discussed. Photoelectric effect is nothing but emission of the electrons from the surface of the metal when the suitable radiation falls on the metal piece or metal surface. Okay, then photoelectric work function is nothing but what is it is a minimum energy of incident radiation of suitable frequency falls on them. Minimum energy is required, okay, to emit the electrons. Even for us to do some work we require some energy. Similarly here, to emit the electrons from the surface of the metal, then they require some energy. That is called photoelectric work function. Example: zinc, magnesium, lithium, sodium, rubidium, etc. Then what is the expression for the work function? W is equal to h nu naught is equal to hc divided by lambda naught. So lambda naught is nothing but what? It is a threshold wavelength. Okay. Since nu naught is equal to what? C divided by lambda naught. Lambda naught is nothing but threshold wavelength and nu naught is nothing but what? It is a threshold frequency. So threshold frequency is denoted by nu naught. What is threshold frequency? It is the minimum frequency of incident radiation below which photoelectric effect does not take place. Minimum frequency is required to emit the electrons. If we go below than that value, then the electrons will not come out. Okay. So minimum frequency is required for the emission of the electrons. Similarly, threshold wavelength, it is denoted by lambda naught. It is the minimum wavelength of incident radiation above which photoelectric effect does not take place. Minimum wavelength is required. Suppose if we go higher than the required wavelength, then the electrons will not come out from the surface of the metal. Define EV. EV means what? Electron volt. Okay. E means it is a notation for the electron charge. Already you know what is a charge. Charge is nothing but what? It is a property. Okay. So the charge is denoted by the E or a Q symbol, and the value of charge is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb if it is electron. Okay, and C is nothing but this C is a coulomb. SI unit of the charge is coulomb. So define EV, electron volt. It is the energy required by an electron when it is accelerated by potential difference of 1 volt. So this is the definition of EV. Then what is the relation between EV and Joule? All of you might have studied what is Joule. Joule is a SI unit of energy or the work done. How both these two are related with each other? 1 EV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb into what? 1 volt. Okay. Then 1 EV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 C into V. Okay. Then 1 EV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 J. Why like that? Because we know that V is equal to W divided by Q. This relation we have studied. So potential difference is equal to work done divided by charge. So W is equal to Q into V. Q is nothing but what? Again it is a charge. So that is denoted by either Q or E. So W is equal to EV. So that is the reason here instead of CV we can mention the notation Joule J. So this is the relation between 1 EV and the Joule. Lenard's observations on photoelectric effect. Many people have worked on this theory and first observed by Lenard's. Okay, so according to him, he considered one bulb. This is a evacuated bulb which is made up of a quartz, and this W is a window where the light is entered. Okay, light will enter through that window. This is a cathode where the photosensitive material is applied, or the metal, C means cathode, there the photosensitive material is fixed. This is anode. Okay, or we also say that it is a receiver, and this is a key, plug key, and this is about the circuit connection. And this is a microampere, means it is a ammeter. This one is ammeter, where the ammeter shows the current. Okay, where we, through this deflection, we observe the how much current is supplied or how much current is produced here. And this is a rheostat, this is a battery, and this is a plug key. And this is a potential, where the potential is reversed. Negative terminal is connected to cathode and positive terminal is connected to anode. C is a metallic cathode or a metal, A is a metallic anode, or we also say that it is a receiver. W is a quartz window. This is made up of a quartz, and this is a quartz window. Okay, where the light enters. Now suppose if we close the key, then UV light is incident on the cathode. The number of electrons which are present here, they will move towards the anode. Okay, when they will move towards the anode, then how we come to know that current is produced? Through this ammeter, we come to know that how much current is produced here. So this is UV light, suitable radiation. If it is incident on this photosensitive material where it is fixed on the cathode, the electrons will move. Where they will move? They will move towards the anode. Okay, then we come to know the how much current is produced. That current is called a photoelectric current. Okay, and the electrons which are emitted from the cathode, these are called photoelectron. These spheres, pink color spheres, they are indicating they are the photoelectrons. Glass transmits only visible and infrared lights but not UV light. That is the reason whatever the experiment was done by using the quartz, not by the glass. Quartz transmits UV light. Lenard's experimental setup to study photoelectric effect is as shown in the above figure. So this is the observation of the Lenard's. Okay, so this figure shows what? Lenard's observation of photoelectric effect. And what he discussed, what he observed through that experimental setup. One by one, let us understand. Number one, when potential difference is applied across emitter plate, okay, that is C, and collector A. C means emitter, where the electrons are coming out or the photoelectrons are coming out, that is called emitter plate. And receiver means A, that is a collector, receiving or collecting, that is A. No current flows in the circuit. Okay, when the potential difference is applied across the emitter plate C and collector, there is no current. Okay, when the emitter plate kept at a negative potential, as I discussed here, when it is connected to the negative potential, that time what we observed here, potential is exposed to UV rays and also it is exposed to UV rays, current begins to flow in the circuit. Then the current start flowing, photoelectrons start flowing in the circuit. As soon as UV rays falling on the emitter plate is stopped, the current flow is also stopped. Okay, if you remove those rays or if you whatever the UV rays are coming from the window, if you stop that UV rays, if you close that window, then current flow will automatically it will stop. Okay. No current flows when the frequency of incident radiation is less than the threshold frequency. Already we discussed what is threshold frequency. No current flows when the frequency of incident radiation is less than the threshold frequency. If it is less than the threshold frequency, then also there is no current. Current will not flow. These observations indicate that when UV rays are allowed to fall on emitter, electrons are ejected from it. So UV rays are the suitable frequency. UV rays frequency is suitable here, as well as the wavelength is also suitable. So for that reason UV rays are allowing, okay, to emit the electrons, or for the ejection of the electrons from the surface of the metal. Next one, Hallwach's observations on photoelectric effect. So, as I discussed in the earlier slide, many scientists worked on the same photoelectric effect. According to him, this is the experimental setup. So, he considered here the zinc plate, which is a photosensitive material, okay, and this is a glass. This is made up of a glass jar which is closed by the lid, and this is a rod. So he named it as it is a gold leaf electroscope. If UV rays are incident on the zinc plate, then the gold leaves, these gold leaves diverges. These gold leaves diverges. Why they diverge? Because when the rays falls on the photosensitive material, the electrons which are present on this, the charges which are present here, they will eject out. They will come out from the surface of the zinc plate, and then due to that charge, gold leaves get diverge. Okay. So this is observed by whom? Hallwachs. Suppose if we remove the UV rays, then again there is no ejection of the electrons. If we stop this UV rays, okay, then we do not observe any photoelectrons. So according to him, Hallwach's observation, as well as Lenard also observed the same. Okay, few points are similar. Number one, negatively charged zinc plate lost its negative charge when it was illuminated by UV rays. Even he performed the experiment by considering only UV rays. So according to him also, UV rays are suitable. Second one, uncharged zinc plate become positive when it was illuminated by UV rays. Third one, the positive charge on the positive charge zinc plate increases further when it was illuminated by UV rays. Hallwachs concluded that the negatively charged plate particles were ejected out from the plate under the action of UV rays. So I hope you understood the concepts properly. For questions and answers from the 11th chapter, please go through the link given below. Thank you.